Hello Libra, and welcome to your September 2025 reading. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and welcome back if you're returning. I'm really glad you're here. We're going to take a look at your September to see what messages are here for you, what the angels want you to know, and advice for your highest and best month. Let's start with some angel messages for you. So I'm going to ask the angels. That was quick. What? I didn't even get out the question. What messages are here for you? And straight away you have Archangel Raguel with divine order. And if that is such a sign for you, Libra, because we see the balance of the scales. And so the angels, actually, what I'm getting is that, the balancing of the scales is always when we have given a lot and we've done the right thing and we've changed ourselves and our lives, and then we start reaping the rewards. And I have a sense that is going to be your theme for the month of September. Reaping those karmic rewards for all of your diligence, your hard work, the inner work that you've been doing on yourself to change the patterns from your past, your mindset. And, that takes a huge amount of work, effort, diligence. And it's like this month, the angels are saying that all of that good work that you're doing will be coming, back. You'll start to feel that reward. Okay, and it says on the card, everything is now how it needs to be. Look past the illusions and see the underlying order. So for some of you, if there's a situation that's happening for you in the month of September, know it's happening for you. That there's something in it that is there, and it's given to you by the angels to help you to grow, to help you to evolve. Even if it's a challenge or it seems like a challenge at first, it's actually meant to help you this month. So let's go to the crystal angels. Angels, can we please have another message for Libra for September? You have smoky quartz and clearing negativity. And this month, what I'm getting from this is, the negativity is always in our mind. It's a mental thought. And so if this is about stilling your mind in the month of September. If you use crystals, of course, you can use smoky quartz, which absorbs the negativity, but you can even just do it in your imagination. Clearing your mind. Making a decision to clear any negativity from your mind that has been holding you back. Because, of course, all of us, we have the divine mind, and it's like we have the angel on our shoulder and we have the devil on our shoulder, and that can happen in the mind. Our mind can tell us that, when it's on a good day, all things are possible, everything is working out for me. But it can also go into that negative spiral. So it's really important this month to stay in the positive of your mind. If your mind is feeding you something that is negative, that's disempowering, it's choosing to change that thought. So clearing negative thoughts this month will be really important. So let's see what needs to be surrendered for the month, because this all paints the picture, and then the tarot will give us some more specifics. And what I'm getting is being really getting the understanding that, our mind is so powerful and we get to choose our thoughts. The whole process of tarot with our swords is mastering our mind. Our mind can be our greatest enemy, but it can also be our biggest advocate, to help you achieve your goals and to have success. So being really careful and monitoring your mind this month. You have surrender to creativity. And this is beautiful. And I can see, I think it's butterflies, or yeah, it's a butterfly. I thought I saw a butterfly in the back. And this is the angels wanting you to dream big. Really getting into that space where you allow yourself to dream about all of the possibilities and the potentials of life. I think, as we get older, we just lose that ability to imagine and dream because we start getting all of these restrictions on what we think is possible. We have all beliefs that make us think that we can't have what we want, but this is about expanding. You are the butterfly. This is about, coming out of the chrysalis, the time where things have been hard. And maybe you're struggling with a bit of the old beliefs, the old beliefs of the past where things didn't work out or they were hard. But this is showing me that now it's the time to open up to your imagination. You coming into this new phase and cycle of life, because that's what the butterfly does. It's a new cycle where things work out, where you get to experience, the goodness of life, and not so much of just all the hardships. So focus your attention on what you want and not what you don't want. The future and not going back to what the past has shown you. Okay. Now let's go into your tarot. And I've meditated on your energy. And starting the month, you have the Hermit. So the Hermit is the time where you're really just realizing that I have the answers within myself. So it's a very empowering energy to step into, where you realize that actually your inner light, the wisdom that you have, is the key. That you don't need to give your power away to other people or to what even I say, or anyone says. It's like knowing that if I go within myself and I ask myself the hard questions, I'll get the answers that I want. So that's a really good start to the month. And it's also the advice from Spirit, trusting yourself, trusting your experience, trusting what you know to be true, going back to your beliefs, not letting, sometimes we can have really strong positivity, beliefs on things, and then we get pulled off the path, or we spiral into negativity because we've heard something on the radio, or someone, squashes our dream, or says something negative about it, and then we spiral into the negativity, with this negative thought. So trust in what you know to be true and what you believe this month. Hold your conviction. And, that's going to really guide your way. The 10 of Swords is what's happening mid-month, and this is a release. It's a release of a fear, and the fear is all to do with your self-worth. So the swords are the beliefs that you've held about yourself, or what you think is possible, or the future. And, it's like Spirit wants you to begin to have even more faith and confidence in who you are, and to start validating yourself. Releasing all of this, the past ideas, thoughts, fears that have kept you really stuck. The good thing about the 10 is it's like that's the end of it. So if you've felt really stuck in a particular situation, or just a theme, coming up against the same old thing all of the time, this is the time, this month you can release it. And the key to releasing it is actually to start validating yourself. Because when we don't feel like we're good enough and we think that we're falling short, we're never going to be able to achieve our goals. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I think that I'm not good enough to have the success or the love that I want, then I'm just going to create that. I'm going to sabotage myself all of the time. And the way out of that is to start validating yourself, because the validation, he gets the validation of the crowd, which is really nice. But if he doesn't validate himself, he's not going to believe it. The crowd and people can cheer him and say he's the best thing in the world. If he doesn't believe it, he can't create the success that he wants. So Spirit wants you to validate yourself every day. Knowing that you're worthy, start saying that, I am confident, I can have what I want. I am really good at my job. I'm worthy of love. I'm a great partner. Really validating, because these are like the old wounds that made you believe otherwise. And this month we actually have an incredible full moon in Pisces on the 7th of September. And because it's in Pisces, it's this opportunity to connect to source, to connect to the whole. Pisces is the 12th house. And it has deep, deep, deep waters, and it has the ability to awaken and transform. So this could be a ritual you do, or just a decision you make to be able to start validating yourself, so that you can achieve and have and succeed. So let's get some clarity and further advice from Spirit. So I call upon the divine, I call upon my guides to help me with this reading for Libra for the month of September, to give them everything that they need to know for this month, for their highest and their best path of love and transformation. Bottom of the deck, the Empress. So this month is all about helping you to engage this part of yourself, the ability to manifest what you want. You're manifesting all the time anyway, but we want to manifest from this. If I feel worthy, I'm going to manifest the equivalent to that in my life, and get that back. Okay. So can we please have some guidance for Libra for the month? And I can tell from your reading, Libra, that you've actually been working really hard on yourself, in personal development, spiritual development, whatever area it is, maybe, really healing the wounds from your past and past experiences. And, I think this month is like really releasing that past. And that could be your mantra for the month is, I release the past. It's not that we release the memories, we still remember everything as it is, but we release the wounds and the emotions that are still affecting our water, our energy and our emotions. So that, you can really have a new beginning, fresh new start, not allowing the past to block your ability to have a wonderful new start. Okay. Can we please clarify the Hermit? Can we please clarify the Hermit? Okay, King of Swords. So you need to get a truth on something. And I think this is definitely to do with your self-worth. So looking within and seeing that, okay, what are the thoughts that have made me feel, what are the thoughts that are playing through my mind at the moment that are making me believe that I'm not good enough, or I can't have what I want, or that keep criticizing me? Because we're in Virgo season, this is a really good time to let go of the criticism, because it's a Virgo theme. So, and you've got the card of clearing negativity. So really starting to clear that negative, noticing when that negative part of the mind comes up that's undermining you, and, seeing it from your higher self, being the observer of it. Like, you are not that thought. You get to choose if that thought is true for you or not. And you can choose for that thought not to be true if it's negative. So, with the king, it's like really taking control of your mind so that your mind is working for you and not against you. And you have the Fool. So that's confirming, this is a fresh new start for you, Libra. And again, if you're in the southern hemisphere of spring, I'm getting the spring energy from this. Or even if you're in the northern hemisphere and it's fall, it's the release and the letting go. Or in spring, the new beginning. So maybe you've got something going on in your life that's a new beginning, a relationship, a career, a move, whatever it is. September's just really helping you tie up those loose ends and to really validate yourself. And you have the Tower, so that's the breakthrough. And it's the breakthrough of a mindset. And the bottom of the deck, the Sun. So stay in a state of optimism, knowing that you have all the power over your mind. And I can see with this King of Swords, you're really deciding how you want to think about yourself, most importantly. And that is the best relationship that you'll ever have to work on. Because you get to choose your self-image, how you see yourself. And so you'll be really working with that this month. So is there any further advice for Libra? Oh, there we go. Sun out again. Okay. So you have the Seven of Wands with the Sun. So let me just take a look at this to see how this fits in. And what I'm getting from this is like we can have two perspectives on life. We can, with the Seven, it's the perspective that I'm not prepared, everything's difficult, just waiting for something to happen, expecting that there's going to be a challenge and a difficulty. The Sun's completely the opposite. It's the abandonment of it. It's the letting go and releasing, staying in a state of optimism. So this could be really great. Spirit really would love you to stay in the state of optimism and the Fool. It's a fresh new beginning. Look how vibrant that is with the yellows. It's like being carefree, having a reset, letting go of the past, controlling your mind and deciding that this is a brand new chapter. Brand new chapter of optimism and opportunities where I feel my worth, I'm validating myself, and I'm creating a state of mind of positivity so that I can start experiencing the goodness and the wonder of life coming back. So let's see which spirit animal is guiding you through the month, because that's a pretty clear and exciting month for you. Okay. So you have giraffe and visionary and more yellow. So lots of optimism and energy and vitality in that card as well. So visionary is like, what I'm getting from this card is looking at your life and the future with positivity, what you want to create. It says, rise above earthly matters, glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path ahead. Stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. So love yourself most importantly with a big heart, and stand in your self-love and your self-worth. And that will be a really big transformation, and what Spirit wants more for you than anything in this world. And it becomes an inner decision to start validating yourself. Let the sun come in if you do, or you would like a technique for energy healing. I would be working on my solar plexus chakra, the yellow chakra at the belly, bringing more light into that area with the intention of creating more self-worth, self-confidence, and you could always link it with the heart and the heart chakra. So I hope that has helped you and guided you through this beautiful month of September of new beginnings. I'm sending you all of my love, light, and blessings. Thank you for subscribes, comments, and likes. It helps me and my channel more than you'd know. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.